Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Ask a Friend series in the Simplified Parenting and Emotionally Healthy Child podcast show. I'm your host, Suhasni from Momish Musings. How are you all today? In today's episode, let's talk about raising multiple kids and the problems associated with it. How many times you would have observed the bickering and constant fighting among siblings? Their constant fights give us continuous headaches, also, isn't it? And it's all a part of growing up as well, if you honestly look at it. If we tell who is correct or who is wrong in their fights, those fights will take totally another direction and they'll start fighting with you as you're favoring other kid or you don't love them and all the other not different accusations they'll start passing on you. If we don't talk or if we don't attend to their fight at that moment, then also it's a problem as they would start telling that you're not supporting them. And that is the reason why most of the parents try to stay away from all these squabbles as much as possible. But being parents, they cannot escape it forever, isn't it? And when we ask these parents who are having more than one kid as to why do you think their kids are fighting, they generally scoff off saying like, yeah, they do it only mainly to get my attention or just for time pass. They don't know what to do. That's why they're fighting, and they don't associate much importance to these fights. But if you look at these fights from a child's perspective, they're not just for time pass or to gain attention from the parents. Every fight they have will have a valid reason for them, and it's a very strong reason according to them. But we adults tell them, brush those fights, saying it's all you guys are doing just for the time pass. You guys don't have any other reason to fight. You don't need any reason. Blah 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 blah. We keep shouting at them just so that they both will stay calm and quiet. If you look at these underlying reasons from a top level or from the top of a Mount Everest, let us assume you would obviously, because you as a parent would try to look at it from the top angle. So you always say these fights are meaningless, no need for them. Why can't these kids stay calm and quiet? So you give them two gadgets or you give them two books and ask them to stay in separate rooms, the problem will be solved. But no, my dear friends, but from the child's perspective, these are all real, valid fights. They're not doing it just for the fun or just for time pass. There are multiple reasons associated with it, and I'm listing down the top three reasons why most of these sibling fights or the squabbles start happening, and why, and these are the main reasons why the sibling rivalry also starts. First one, parents favor one child more than the other, and the child who can definitely experience this differentiation by their own parents, and that's why they want to do basically be along with the kid whom the parents favor in all the situations, in all the scenes, so that at least some attention will fall on them. It's not so for example, I'll tell you an incident when when a parent takes the much favored child out for shopping. This kid might, the other kid who is not that much favored or less favored by their own parents will saying, why do you want to go to the shop, why they have so much of all these things, don't buy. But at the same time, when actually the parent and the favored child are entering into the shop, the other kid also will jump into the shop just so that he can be near to the parent and get his some attention. It's not about the things that the other child is getting, or he's doing it out of jealousy. He needs that attention from the parents. Just because he's not getting that attention, he's always trying to pick up the fight thing, don't buy this, don't buy that, you always favor her, blah 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 blah, because they don't know how to express their feelings to the parents, and we as parents have to understand them. And then the second important point, we as parents try to compare both the kids. I mean, if at all, if you have only two kids, saying, see, the elder one is so smart, she's able to do all these sums pretty fast, why can't you do? Or see, the younger one is so expert in art, craft, or these games. You are not at all doing anything. You're a big waste, they'll say to the elder one. So obviously, these comparisons hurt the kids, and then they'll start developing jealousy for the most success. Again, it's the most successful kid. The unsuccessful kid will start developing low self confidence. His self esteem will start going down. Whereas the other child whom you are praising keeps getting over and over confident. His self confidence will go to the peaks, and he'll become overconfident, and in turn, he'll become more arrogant. In by doing this kind of comparison to both the kids, praising one kid in front of the other and praising the other kid, and putting down the other kid in front of the other kid, actually harms both the kids. And lastly, the individual differences. We all know that every child is unique. So are their tastes, interests, temperaments, their behavior, everything. These differences obviously might lead to some kind of conflicts when both the two different personalities are being put in a room and asked to be present, manage with each other for 24 by 7, isn't it? That happens with even adults. So that is, those kind of squabbles or the fights are quite normal as a part of growing up. But the other two fights which result because of parents comparing both the kids, or parents favoring one kid on top of the other kid, or all kind of, they do a lot of emotional damage to the kids. Now, how do we resolve these disputes amicably? So the first and foremost, for all these fights, is to stay calm. The parent has to stay calm and say that, and do not get angry, and try to help to de-escalate the situation, and get both the kids look at each other and start talking to each other. Listen to both sides of the story, which you all must be already doing it, and try to give them the tools and techniques and tips to manage these fights on their own without coming to the problem. So, and also as a family rule, set out what are the clear cut consequences for fighting, because both the kids have to understand that fighting is not allowed in this particular, in your household. Once they understand that, most of the fights will subside on its own. But actually, even before trying to put water under the fire, why can't we parents work towards putting, not letting the fire burn, not letting these sparks turn into a major fire, so that there will be not be too many fights among the siblings. For that, the best two tips I can give you is spend time with each child individually. You need to appreciate that child, his uniqueness, characteristics, and give them the attention which each child deserves. This will help that child feel that he is being loved by parents and he is being appreciated for whatever he is worth of. And also talk how much their other sibling, brother or sister, loves this child in a positive manner, and how much extent that child can go to make this child happy. I mean, you need to do this to both the kids, then only they'll be secure in their role as a brother or a sister, and then they'll start having a happy good relationship with their siblings. I hope you like this today's topic. And if you please do share your comments, and if you like these episodes, don't forget to share them with your friends and families, and asking them to subscribe to this podcast show and rate it if possible, because your comments and ratings are the ones which give me encouragement to come up with more interesting topics like this. Thank you all. Bye bye from your host Suhasni from Mommy Show Musings.